Choose the correct option. The new law passed in 1850 made, the answer is, conversion into Christianity easier. The revolt of 1857 began from Meerut Chhawni. Mangal Pandey, a young soldier, was hanged to death for what? The answer is attacking his officers in Barakpur. The Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar died in Rangoon jail. This is in Burma. The British regained control of the country in the year 1859. So 1857, it took 2 years for them to control. So 1859, they got the control back. Fill in the blanks. In the countryside, peasants and zamindars resented the high taxes, revenues, and the rigid methods of collection. The British passed laws to stop the practice of sati and encourage the remarriage of widows. The rebels rushed to Delhi from Meerut and proclaimed Bahadur Shah Zafar as their leader. Nana Sahib, the adopted son of late Peshwa Baji Rao, gathered armed forces and expelled the British garrison cavalry from the city. Dash fought a guerrilla war, Tatya Tope. He is Tatya Tope. So you can just write like this. Tatya. Guerrilla war against the British with the support of several tribal and peasant leaders. True and false. None of the Indians wanted to change existing social practices. False. Some of them, they do want to do it. In 1856, Governor General Canning decided that Bahadur Shah Zafar would be the last Mughal king. This is true. The Indian sepoys were unhappy about their pay, allowances, and condition of services. This is also true. The British could not suppress the revolt and called the rebels for negotiation. This is false. In 1859, they did so after 2 years of the rebel started, from the time the rebel started. After the revolt of 1857, the Governor General of India was given the title of Admiral General. No, it's Viceroy. Match the items. So, Birjis Qadr, Lucknow. Then Rani Lakshmibai, Jhansi. Kanwar Singh, Bihar. Bakht Khan, Bareilly. Ahmadullah Shah, Faizabad. What was the plea of Nana Sahib, who adopted son of Peshwa Baji Rao II? So Nana Sahib pleaded that he be given his father's pension when the latter died. What was the first step taken by the company towards ending the Mughal dynasty? The name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company. Why were the Indian sepoys unhappy with the British rule? Give any one reason. First of all, they were underpaid. They were not living very good condition. Even if they do some mistake, they are subjected to many kinds of punishment. What rumor spread among the sepoys of the Meerut regiment about the new cartridges? The rumor spread that the new cartridges were coated with fat of cows and pigs, and both this is sacred to the Hindu or Sanatan Dharma, but pigs are the most hated animal of the Muslims. What did the aging Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar do after he was declared the leaders of the rebels? He wrote letters to all the chiefs and rulers of the country to come forward and organize a confederacy of Indian states to fight the British. Name any two small rulers who acknowledged the suzerainty of Bahadur Shah Zafar: Nana Sahib and Birjis Qadr. Who was Tatya Tope? He was Tatya Tope. So he was general of Nana Sahib. Who was Ahmadullah Shah? What was his prophecy? Ahmadullah Shah was a Maulvi from Faizabad. His prophecy was that the rule of Britishers should come to an end. Who was Bakht Khan? So Bakht Khan was a soldier from Bareilly. He took charge of large forces of fighters who came to Delhi. When did the British recapture Delhi? The British recaptured Delhi in September 1857. Why were the powers of East India Company transferred to British Crown? The power of the East India Company were transferred to British Crown in order to ensure a more responsible management of the Indian affairs. Under what condition the ruling chiefs could pass on their kingdoms to their heirs? They could do so only when they are ready to acknowledge that the British Queen is their sovereign paramount, supreme. Why did the British treat Muslims with suspicion and hostility? The British believed that the rebellion, 1857 revolt, was basically because of Muslims. They were responsible for the outrage, or you can say, or they have made some sort of conspiracy which led to this rebellion. Under what pretext did the company take over Awadh? So in 1801, a subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh, and in 1856 it was taken over. So Governor General Dalhousie declared that the territory was being misgoverned and British rule was needed to ensure proper administration. How did the company plan to bring an end to Mughal dynasty? First of all, the name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company. Then in 1849, the Governor General Dalhousie announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the family of the king would be shifted out of the Red Fort and given another place in Delhi to live in. In 1856, Governor General Canning decided that Bahadur Shah Zafar would be the last Mughal king, and after his death, his descendants would only be known as princes, only prince. Why were the Indian sepoys in the employ of the company discontented, not happy? Give sufficient reasons. So the Indian sepoys were given poor salaries and allowances. The condition of service also made them unhappy. Some of the new rules even violated their religious sentiments and beliefs. So those were the days when many people in the country believed that if they crossed the sea, they would lose their religion and caste. So when in 1824 the sepoys were told to go to Burma by the sea route to fight for the company, they refused to follow their order. Because of this, they were given severe punishment. What is more important is in 1856, the company passed a new law which stated that every new person who took up employment in the company army had to agree to be serving overseas if ever required. What reforms did the British introduce in the Indian society? How did the people of India respond to them? So the British introduced certain reforms. They passed laws to stop practice of sati and encourage the remarriage of the widows. They promoted English language education, and in 1850 the company passed a new law that made the conversion to Christianity quite easier. So many Indians began to feel that the British actually were destroying their religion, their social custom, their traditional way of life, Sanskriti. But at the same time, there were other Indians who readily accepted the reforms, and these were very good reforms which were introduced by British. So in fact, they wanted to change existing social practices. Why did the chiefs and rulers support the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar in the revolt? So the Mughal dynasty had ruled over a large part of the country. Most smaller rulers and chieftains controlled different territories on behalf of Mughal ruler only. But threatened by the expansion of British rule, many of them felt that the Mughal emperor could rule again. If they support them, they would be able to rule their own territories once more under the Mughal authority. How did the British try to win back the loyalty of the people after they recaptured Delhi? First, they announced rewards for loyal landholders by allowing them to continue to enjoy traditional rights over their lands. And those who had rebelled were told that if they submitted to the British, or if they say that they have not killed any white people, they would remain safe and their rights and claims to land would not be denied. How did other Indian soldiers in Meerut participate in the revolt of 1857? How did the regiments stationed in Delhi respond when they came to know about the arrival of Meerut sepoys in the city? See, the other Indian soldiers in Meerut participated in the uprising wholeheartedly. On 10th May 1857, they marched to the jail in Meerut and released the sepoys who were sentenced for 10 years jail for disobeying their officers. They attacked and killed British officers. They captured guns and ammunition and set fire to the buildings and properties of the British and declared war as on the Farangis, Videshis. So the soldiers were determined to bring an end to the British rule in the country. The sepoys of Meerut rushed to Delhi in the early hours of 18 May. As news of their arrival spread, the regiments stationed in Delhi also rose up in rebellion. Again, British officers were killed, arms and ammunition were seized, buildings were set on fire. Triumphant soldiers gathered around the walls of Red Fort, where the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar lived, demanding to meet him. Now, the emperor was not willing to challenge the mighty British power, but the soldiers persisted. They forced their way into the palace and proclaimed Bahadur Shah Zafar as their leader. The emperor finally accepted their demand. After meeting the leader, the soldier began to plan for further action. How did the rebellion spread to other regions of the country? The position of the British became very weak in Delhi, and they were almost defeated by the rebel. So there was no uprising for almost a week. But afterwards, a spur of mutinies began in several parts of India. Regiment after regiment mutinied and took to join other troops at nodal points like Delhi, like Kanpur and Lucknow. After them, the people of towns and villages also rose up in rebellion. They rallied around the local leaders, zamindars and chiefs who were prepared to establish their authority and fight the British. Nana Sahib, the adopted son of late Peshwa Baji Rao, who lived near Kanpur, gathered armed forces and expelled the Britishers' garrison from this city. He proclaimed himself as Peshwa. He declared that he was a governor under Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar. In Lucknow, Birjis Qadr, the son of deposed Nawab Wajid Ali Shahi, was proclaimed by new Nawab. He too acknowledged the suzerainty of Bahadur Shah Zafar. In Jhansi, Rani Lakshmi Bai joined the rebel sepoys and fought the British along with the Tatya Tope, the general of Nana Sahib. A situation of widespread rebellion also developed in the region of Awadh. Many new leaders also came up and joined the revolt. Ahmadullah Shah, a Maulvi from Faizabad, raised a large force of supporters. He came to Lucknow to fight the British. So in Delhi, a large number of religious warriors came together to wipe out the white people. Bakht Khan, a soldier from Bareilly, took charge of large force of fighters who came to Delhi. In Bihar, an old zamindar, Kunwar Singh, he also joined the rebel sepoys and battled the British for several months. How did the company suppress the revolt of 1857? The company did not get nervous to see the strength of the rebel force, but instead it decided to suppress the revolt with all its might. So it bought reinforcements from England, passed new laws so that the rebels could be convicted with ease, and they moved into the storm centers of the revolt. Delhi was recaptured with rebel forces from the rebel forces in September 1857. The last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, was tried in court and sentenced for life imprisonment. He and his wife, Begum Hazrat Mahal, I guess, was sent to prison in Rangoon in October, Zinat Mahal, I guess. So Rangoon in October 1858. Then the recapture of Delhi did not mean that the rebellion died down completely. People continued to resist and battle the British. So British had to fight for 2 years, 2 long years, to suppress the massive forces of popular rebellion. The British took Lucknow in 1858. Rani Lakshmibai was defeated and killed in June 1858. Tatya Tope, who fought a guerrilla war, was finally captured, tried and killed in April 1859. These are source-based questions. We have to read these, extract, and then we have to answer. So the title of 84 rules, we have already read that, so in the text. So let us answer them. Who was Vishnu Bhat Godse? Where was he going and for what purpose? So Vishnu Bhat Godse, he was a Brahmin from village in Maharashtra. He was going to Mathura to attend a yajna you can say. Whom did he meet on the way and what did they tell him? He met some sepoys, Sainiks, on the way. The sepoy told him that he should not proceed on the journey, but because actually a massive upheaval, you can say, was going to break out in 3 days. Massive upbringing or a revolt. Then what further information did they give to Vishnu Bhat? The sepoys further informed Vishnu Bhat about the ways the British were destroying the religions of the Hindus and also the Muslims, and anger that spread due to it among the rulers and common mass. All the big people had fixed a date for the war of religion, and the date would be coming in 3 days. You have to observe this picture and answer the question. What do you see in the above picture? Here, the British forces, they have captured. These are the rebels. They are being captured. What does the artist want to show? The artist want to show the might of the British soldiers who valiantly advanced on the rebel forces. Now, on an outline political map of India, mark the important centers of revolt in North India. So here we have Meerut, Delhi, Bareilly, Lucknow, Faizabad, Kanpur and Jhansi. This was the area where these are the key points where the revolt emerged, started and spread. So these were the question and answer of this topic. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.